Hey guys, and welcome to a new movie review. Today we're doing Death of a Unicorn. This is featuring, I can't remember not Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, the guy who plays Ant-Man, and what's her name? She was in Wednesday. I can't remember the girl who was in Wednesday. She's been in a lot of stuff. She was just in that movie with the Weekend movie. I can't remember her name. She was also in Beetlejuice. I can't remember her name, and I know that name, and I know the actor, and it's fucking killing me that I don't remember her name. And I'm gonna hear it afterwards. Anything or late in the video, I'm gonna hear her name. It's like, yeah, like I know the actor and I know the name, but for some reason right now I'm blanking on it. I get it sometimes if I blank on the actor's name. I know him, but I can't remember the name. But you know, it's her. So it's also this movie. Another movie that I really liked. It's really fun. Really enjoyed this fun. It's fun. It's kind of a movie that I kind of expected it was going to be. Like, fun, kind of crazy movie about unicorns and how they're maybe not as they seem. And it's fun. And how they're maybe not as, like, you know, how when you think of unicorns, you think of all, like, cute and, like, oh, like, you know, girls' bedrooms have unicorns abound. And then in this movie, it's like, oh, they're kind of more, like, not as cute as you think. I mean, not, like, completely evil, but they're not as cute and, you know, stuff as you think. Not as what you think. So let's jump into it. Like I said, like this movie, so let's jump into it. Following the head for this video. Let's jump into it. We're doing it. Okay, so it starts off with the main girl who I can't remember her name, but it's her. It's her and her dad, who is played by Paul Rudd, and he's like a scientist or something to do, and they go there to learn about to go to this place, this reserve up in like the woods, and then on the way they hit a thing they think is like a maybe deer or something. They find out it's a unicorn, and they put it in the back of the car, take it with them, and then eventually later when they go, stuff happens. But we get to the place, we meet all the other cast of characters, and I first I stop when I meet these characters. I like when you first meet this house and all the people in here. Most of them are like, yeah, not bad. I like them. They're not like completely bad people. I'm like, I like this group of characters. They don't give up immediately like, oh, this is assholes, these are bad people vibe. But anybody who gets to just will in this movie, so that's fun. But it's about them and him taking over the company or whatever the thing is, and how his wife is the thing and all this stuff, and the daughter's acting like, hey, we don't want to be here and stuff. You wanted to come, you wanted to do this stuff, da da da. And it's fun and about doing stuff, and he's not really listening to the daughter, but by the end, obviously they do that thing. It was like, him and the daughter are having a thing, and then by the end they get together and kind of like fix whatever problem they were having. It's fun, and about stuff happening because the mom, I believe, died and stuff, so the stuff with that. But eventually you find out about the unicorn in the back of the car. He starts, doing stuff, so they take it and doing stuff on it, like researching it, doing stuff on it, trying to figure out like, oh, we could use this for all this stuff to do this thing. And she's like, maybe you shouldn't do this, because she looked up all the information about unicorns and like, maybe they're not as benevolent as they seem and all this stuff, and nobody else is believing all this mumbo jumbo. She's kind of talking. She's kind of like talking like the mumbo jumbo talk was like, oh yeah, don't believe in the superstitions. So I thought, you know what I mean? Stuff that's like that, they don't believe it. Then the mom comes and starts attacking him, because obviously the one they attack was a baby, or like son, or like, thing was like the mom's coming to get the baby back and going on a killing spree. And most of the people in the place who deserve to die most, I'm gonna say most, to get what they're coming to them, and that's like great. And then by the end, they have to obviously fight it, and they get the bad guys, get what they deserve, and the guys who everybody at the place there basically got what they deserve, because they all kind of like, this is a fun movie. Like, I think it's fun. The unicorns, I like how they're making the unicorn more scary, but also some points when they're not scary, but it's like not completely scary, but like if they want to be, they can be fucking scary, and I like that, instead of having them like, when you think of unicorns, you see them in like a girl's bedroom, you see unicorn stuff, but like, they're not completely evil, but they can be scary if they want to be. We can be scared. We're not gonna do cutesy like in girl's bedroom. You can really like just stabbing people with a horn and doing all kinds of shit, killing people. It's great. I like it. And like I said, the Paul Rudd and his daughter get together. Can't remember her name. Jenna Ortega, you fucking idiot. But they get together and they, make amends. And then there's the one guy who's like a butler guy who's walking through him. Who's probably one of my favorite characters in the movie. I like him because he has some great lines. And they're like, what the fuck? And he's like the guy who eventually leaves and he gets out alive. Where I'm like, yes, he's the one character. I'm like, out of everybody here, other than like the main dad and daughter, I'm like, I want you to make it out alive, because he's like such a fun character, and he's always like nice, and he is a nice guy, and he feels like he's nice, he wants to help, and he goes to get the cops at the end, and they come up, and then they see like, hey, these two, the dad and daughter, are there, and then the guy is murdered. I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? And the other guy, I feel like the guy who, like, the butler knows they didn't do anything, but how do you explain unicorns if you don't see them? But then at the end when they're driving off in the car and they're like being arrested, unicorns come and they knock the car off so they can kind of like escape or help them a below at the end. I'm like, that's fine. I don't think they were doing it to kill him. I think they were doing it to actually try and help him and stuff. And also one of them, like the dad, I think dies at the end. He gets hurt, and then they do something to help him. Him and her and the unicorns, they do stuff, and they help him and stuff. It's fun. It's a fun movie. And they kind of like, they kind of like, oh, they escaped at the end. That's fun. And then the butler, I like the butler still didn't die, but yeah, it's fun. It's a fun movie. I liked it. So what you guys think of Death of a Unicorn? Really fun. I would say horror movie. I think it does count as horror because obviously there's a monster going on killing people, so I guess it's the unicorn, so yes, counts. Kind of think of anything else. Let's do the rating. I almost forgot the rating. If we get solid 8, I almost wanted to give it a 9, but I think it's good. It's almost a 9. I think one could almost be a 9, but I think I'm giving it an 8. Movies are fun, entertaining in a way. I'm like, yep, this is a movie that feels a little bit like a me movie, but I had some vibes that I could see why I enjoy it. I'm like, yep, it has some me vibes, but it's good. Recommended. This is Unicorn. Had fun with it. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. You guys can always stay epic. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.